Tupac hit us with Hit 'Em Up, and that joint was cold. I had to make the call to Biggie, and I said, we not gonna respond. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
Puffy trying to see me weak, hearts I rip. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia, some more.
New court documents show that Keefe D. Davis accused Sean Diddy Combs of paying $1 million for the of rap icon Tupac Shakur.
Now that Diddy has officially been indicted, the streets are asking the loudest question yet. Will the truth finally spill about his alleged connection to the shocking deaths of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G? Every single day, new details about Sean Diddy Combs drop like bombs. One minute, it's updates from behind bars. The next is wild court rumors or whispers of over 100 new accusers stepping forward, all demanding justice and truth. The secret world behind those infamous freak-offs everyone used to talk about is finally being dragged into daylight, and the heat around Diddy is burning hotter than ever. But this isn't just about wild parties or gossip. This storm is cracking open one of hip-hop's darkest mysteries. Fans, detectives, and old-school insiders are digging deep into Diddy's alleged ties to the two most haunting murders in rap history, Tupac and Biggie. Those tragedies didn't just shake Diddy's world, they reshaped the entire culture and changed music forever. So what was Diddy's real role in Biggie's rise as the king of New York? What truth hides behind the whispers surrounding Tupac's 1996 death? And how did Puff Daddy's career explode after Biggie's murder just a year later? We've spent hours combing through old court docs, dusty interviews, and long-buried reports to paint the clearest picture ever seen. When you start connecting the dots between Diddy and the sudden deaths of people close to him, it hits different. By the time this story's done, the way you see hip-hop might never be the same again. To understand how deep this goes, we gotta rewind to the early 1990s when Puff Daddy was just starting his empire alongside one of hip-hop's greatest voices, the notorious B.I.G. Back then, New York's crown was slipping, the West Coast ruled the charts, and the streets were screaming death row. Dr. Dre had just dropped The Chronic, and Snoop Dogg's Dogg Style crushed every record out there. The West was shining bright, while the East was gasping for air. That's when Sean Puffy Combs decided to flip the game. In 1993, he launched Bad Boy Records, and one of his first signings was none other than Christopher Wallace, Biggie himself. When Ready to Die dropped in September 1994, it wasn't just an album, it was a full-blown cultural takeover. Biggie crowned himself the new king of New York, and Diddy made sure everyone knew he was the man behind the throne. Puffy was everywhere, dancing in videos, hyping tracks, shouting on intros. His fingerprints were all over Biggie's sound. The East was back, but their victory was long-lived, because just months later, Biggie and Puffy got pulled into what would become one of the deadliest beefs in music history. On November 30th, 1994, Tupac Shakur headed to Quad Studios in Manhattan after getting invited by Biggie himself. At the time, Pac and Big were close, brothers in music and hustle, but something about that night was off. Pac claimed Puff kept calling him before he arrived, asking about his timing, acting a little too curious, and Pac's instincts were screaming that something wasn't right. The second Pac walked into that studio lobby, everything exploded. 3 masked men ran up on him, guns drawn. He fought back, but got shot multiple times and robbed of tens of thousands in jewelry. Pac survived, but his trust was gone forever. He later accused both Biggie and Puff of setting him up, and though they denied it, Pac never let it go. When he signed to Death Row, he unleashed his anger on the world with Hit 'Em Up, one of the most vicious diss tracks ever recorded. Pac came for everyone, bragging about Biggie's wife, throwing shots at Puffy, and calling himself a bad boy killer. The beef was officially out of control. Not long after, things turned deadly again. In 1995, Death Row boss Suge Knight and his crew, including his close friend Big Jake, showed up to a Jermaine Dupri party. Puffy was there too, and when Suge spotted him, tension hit the roof. Words were exchanged, the room went wild, and before long, gunfire broke out. Big Jake ended up shot and killed, and whispers started claiming the shooter was Puffy's own bodyguard, Wolf. No one was ever charged, but the message was clear. This beef was real, and it was dangerous. That same energy carried into 1996. The world watched as Pac's feud with Bad Boy spiraled into full-blown chaos. Then came that night in Las Vegas, September 7th, 1996. Pac and Suge were riding through the Strip after the Tyson fight when a white Cadillac rolled up beside their BMW. Gunfire erupted in the blink of an eye. Suge was grazed, but Pac was hit multiple times. He fought to stay alive, but passed away 6 days later. Pac's death shocked the planet. For years, the case stayed cold. Rumors spread that Biggie and Puffy was somehow tied to it, but neither man was ever charged. Still, the whispers wouldn't stop. Then, in September 2023, almost 27 years later, everything flipped. Las Vegas police arrested Dwayne Keefe D., a Southside Crips member, and charged him with Tupac's murder. Keefe D. had already been running his mouth in interviews for years, but his confession dropped a nuclear claim that Diddy allegedly ordered the hit and offered $1 million payout. According to Keefe D., Puffy was scared of Suge Knight and allegedly said, "I would give anything for that dude's head." He claimed his nephew, Orlando Baby Lane, was the shooter, and that Puffy promised payment through an associate named Eric Von Martin, a payment Keefe says never came. That detail sparked an uproar, with fans debating whether Puffy really set things in motion or if Keefe was spinning tales. Then came another bombshell, a 2009 undercover recording where Keefe D. told an officer that Puffy wanted it done. Court documents revealed the transcript, and once again, the spotlight pointed right back at Diddy. But that wasn't the end. In 2024, a woman named Ashley Parham filed a lawsuit saying Diddy threatened her after she accused him of being tied to Tupac's death. She claimed he told her during a FaceTime call that she'd pay for saying it, and that during a later meeting, he allegedly threatened her again, while his chief of staff, Christina Karam, stood by.
Who killed Tupac and Biggie? I think both of these dudes were assassinated in some kind of way. More Biggie than Tupac.
I have proof, things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about.
I think my music is being so well received because it's just some real shit,
Karam, known as KK, has long been described as Diddy's most trusted insider, the one who handled his empire from the shadows. The lawsuit claims she tried to control how things went down that night, supposedly advising Diddy not to cause visible injuries because it could raise questions later. All these allegations remain unproven, but the case put Diddy right back under a burning spotlight. Tupac's family wasn't about to stay quiet either. By October 2024, they had officially hired an attorney to dig into the new claims and re-examine the evidence. But before the dust could settle, tragedy struck again. The murder of the notorious B.I.G. just 6 months after Tupac's death. On March 8, 1997, Biggie and Diddy showed up to a Soul Train Awards afterparty in Los Angeles, deep in enemy territory, at the peak of the East versus West tension. People close to Biggie begged him not to go. Lil C said they were warned by street figures that LA was too hot, but Puffy pushed anyway, saying the Bad Boy crew had to show face. Even crazier, Biggie was supposed to fly to London that very day for a major press event that could have taken his career global. But Diddy called off the trip last minute, ordering Biggie to stay in LA for the party. And despite still healing from a car accident, Biggie showed up, cane and all. That night, when the after-party ended, Biggie climbed into his SUV, Diddy into another car. As Biggie's ride stopped at a red light, a black Chevy Impala pulled up beside it and shots rang out. Biggie was hit 4 times and died before he reached the hospital. Once again, rumors exploded. Some claimed Biggie had been planning to leave Bad Boy Records, and Diddy didn't want that. Others said Diddy's behavior afterward felt off, especially when reports surfaced that he fought Biggie's lawyers for control over his publishing rights. Kirk Burroughs, the former Bad Boy president, even recalled Diddy rejecting a Rolling Stone tribute cover for Biggie, allegedly saying, "No, he's dead. I need to be on the cover." Sure enough, that issue hit stands, with Diddy front and center. Just 2 months after Biggie's death, Diddy dropped No Way Out and the single I'll Be Missing You, a tribute featuring Faith Evans. The song ruled the charts for 11 straight weeks, won a Grammy, and became one of the biggest hits ever. Then No Way Out dropped, went 7 times platinum, and officially turned Puff into a global superstar. But fans couldn't ignore how fast it all happened. The man once behind the curtain was now the star, and Diddy himself admitted Biggie's death boosted his fame. "I think Biggie's passing added to the fame," he told Rolling Stone, even estimated a few million album sales came because of it. Decades later, the questions still hang heavy, and the people closest to Diddy keep meeting strange fates. Kim Porter, the mother of 3 of his kids, was reportedly working on a tell-all memoir before she suddenly passed away in 2018. Officials listed pneumonia as the cause, but insiders said she wasn't even sick before that. Singer Jaguar Wright claimed Kim's toxicology showed traces of poisoning and that Diddy allegedly had a casket ordered weeks before her death. Soon after, a supposed memoir surfaced online, but Kim's kids called it fake and Amazon yanked it off the shelves. Then Diddy's mentor, Andre Harrell, the man who gave him his first real shot in the business, died suddenly in 2020 from heart issues. Fans started to notice a pattern. People closest to Diddy either vanished, got sick, or ended up gone. Al B. Sure, another major figure tied to both Kim and Diddy, mysteriously fell into a months-long coma in 2022. When he woke up, he hinted that the truth behind his condition was darker than people realized. After Diddy's homes were raided by Homeland Security, Al B. Sure posted, "If you really want to know how I ended up in a coma, call Homeland Security." That single statement set the internet on fire. He later announced a documentary about Kim Porter's death, and fans started piecing together their own theories. How could so many people connected to one man face such tragic endings within a few years? Meanwhile, Diddy's world kept crumbling. After his arrest in 2025, things got ugly quick. Houston attorney Tony Busby announced over 120 people had come forward with allegations, and he said this was just the beginning. Busby explained his team was vetting each case carefully, checking timelines and evidence before filing, but the first wave of lawsuits already painted a chilling pattern stretching back decades. One claim went as far back as 1995, another from 2008, allegedly involving a violent altercation linked to Diddy's clothing line. Diddy's lawyers fired back, calling Busby's moves a media circus, but Busby doubled down, saying, "I want people who've been scarred to know they're not alone." And inside the Brooklyn jail where Diddy's being held, reports say life has been rough. After years of luxury and control, sources claim he's paranoid, barely eating, and convinced someone might try to poison him. Former inmates say he's scared for his life, a shocking turn for a man once seen as untouchable. Now, with indictments stacking up, lawsuits pouring in, and decades of suspicion crashing back to the surface, it feels like the empire Diddy built is finally crumbling from the inside. The image he fought to protect for so long is cracking open for everyone to see. For years, the music world was wrapped in silence, people too afraid to speak up. But now, those whispers are turning into real cases, public records, and sworn statements. Whether Diddy is proven guilty or not, the chase for truth is officially on, and this time it doesn't look like it can be buried. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about power, protection, and secrets that shaped hip-hop's biggest moments. What happens next could shake the entire industry to its core. So what do you think? Is this all coincidence or way deeper?
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to kill Pac? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.